Just what can leaders do to help the generational diversity that
I'm
happens?
the baby boomer, so I try to talk with both generations. What we have going for us is we're very dedicated. Baby boomers were very hard workers.
Yeah.
So what's good is that we were dependable and responsible and very, very hard workers. But if you look at the next generation, they grew up with us being very, very hard workers. The average young person now grew up with at least one workaholic in their family.
Yes. Yeah.
And so what they were seeing as young children was mom and dad working all the time, working long hours, no one was home. But that's okay. But what they saw on top of that was when they came home, most of their parents weren't happy.
Yeah.
Their parents were stressed and tired. I did a survey years ago and I said, what are 2 words that describe, and I did it with kids 5 through like 20. What describes your parents? 2 words. And 80% of them, the 2 words they used were tired and angry.
Huh. Interesting.
And when I asked a lot of young people, how do you describe your boss? Guess what? I'm still getting tired and angry.
Yeah.
And so I think when you have young people seeing someone who's working all the time, well, it might have been one thing if we had worked all these long hours and came home so fulfilled.
Enriched.
So enriched. So
right.
Came home and said to our kids, honey, I didn't get home till 7:30, but let me tell you about my day. This was an amazing day, and I hope you have the, come and sit with me and let's talk. But instead, what they saw, and this is because I've done tons of therapy and work with young people, what they saw was all of this hard work, no one's ever home, but no one's necessarily that happy when they get home. And so to them, the connection was very hard. Hard work doesn't mean happy. We grew up with, if you work hard, you'll get what you want. A lot of them grew up with, if you work hard, you're just tired. And you still can't keep up, and you're exhausted, and you're a little irritable. And so I think if we look at my generation, if we look at the younger generation, see the good things, they're trying to be home more for their kids' games. And they're trying to be accessible and call at lunch. And I know my son-in-law, I have a granddaughter, and I mean, my daughter teaches at the same school, but he tries to be at lunches once a week, and he tries to take them to school and do breakfast. And if there's plays, he tries to work later. And so I think it's not at all, he's an extremely productive, hard person, but I think it's important to him. And it's important to my daughters with their kids that they balance this work and this intensity of work with also a commitment to the marriage and to the family. I think young people saw a lot of their parents split up.
You're right.
And they blamed it on all the work and the long hours, and they never talked. And so I think they're going into marriage with, this is going to be work, and we're going to have to figure out how to make it work.
And maybe we start later in that marriage because I want to make sure I do it right.
Now, I gave the downside of baby boomers, we need to understand, but the downside of the newer generation is things happen so fast. I mean, they want a promotion now, they want the job now. If the marriage doesn't work, they get divorced. If the job doesn't work, they quit it and move on to the next. They need to be more willing to pay their dues. Part of life is paying your dues.
You're right.
The other day I was in a grocery store and there was a young man behind me, probably 19 or 20, and he had texted or emailed someone. And I could see him, I was putting my groceries on, and he texted somebody and he pressed send, and all of a sudden he's like shaking it. It's like because the answer didn't, and I couldn't help it. I turned around and said, it's coming from space. I mean, it's like,
wait for it.
And everyone's laughing around me, and he's looking at me like crazy lady. And I said, look, I didn't mean to yell, but do you get it's not inside here. This went to space. What you just did, it went to space and it's coming back. And it's like, it can't happen in 2 seconds. Like aren't you amazed that it's even happening in 5 seconds?
Absolutely,
And so I think, we're in the take your time and think things through, and they're in the like, let's have it now, let's have it now. And I guess the best advice I can give is to talk to each other. And to say, if you were 20 years younger than me and I was your boss, I'd say, tell me what you're looking for, tell me what you need, tell me what you think, tell me what your expectations are, and let me tell you mine. And let's see where we differ, and let's see how we can meet. So I think really good conversations need to happen.
So at least the beginning, isn't it? That's good.